body conditioning scoring, feces scores, and relationships between consistence of feces and nutrient supplies, and the examination of rations in cattle. So the body conditioning score goes from 1 to 5, and the checkpoints are the vertebrae, the tuber ischiaticum, and the tuber ischiaticum tubercoxae line, and the tail head tuber ischiaticum cavity. At calving, the body conditioning score should be from 3 to 3.5. 60 days after calving, it'll go down to 2.5 to 3.25. And when they're drying off, it should be around 3 to 3.5. The feces scoring in relation to its nutrient supply. So the scores go from 1 to 5, 5 being the most firm and dry, and 1 being the most liquid-like. Number 1 is liquid. It's like a pea soup. It's high in protein and starch, and high in sodium. This is due to osmotic diarrhea, and it might indicate subacute ruminal acidosis. Number 2 is moderately liquid. It's high in protein and starch and low in fiber. Number 3 is more porridge-like. This is when they have balanced protein, energy, and water intake. And number 4 is moderately thick. It's more common in dry cows and heifers. It's when they have lots of fiber and little grain. It means there's slow rumen passage and there's a high digestion rate. And number 5 is like a firm ball. It's extremely high in fiber and there's no degradable protein. It could also be an indication of dehydration and fever. When doing a feces separator, the large particles should be less than 10%, and the middle particles should be less than 20%, and the small particles should be around half, 50%. If there is too much grain in the feces, it means there's too much grain in the diet, or there's a rumination failure, or there is improper silage making. If there is large particles in the feces, this means there's rumination failure, or it's too finely chopped for forage. And when examining the TMR, this is a dry matter estimation. The goal should be around 50%, and there should be homogeneity. The structure should focus on the length and the size of the particles, as well as the odor. And the rumen filling score goes from 1 to 5. It's on the left paralumbar fossa. It's a good indicator of dry matter intake within the last 24 hours, and it detects metabolic disorders.